Hello, my name is Adriana Marino, and I'm host and producer of Bend into Balance. Today, I'm very happy and honored to be accompanied by skier and local to Bend, Tommy Ford. Tommy, thank you so much for being here. It's so exciting to finally meet you in person after these months of text messages and whatnot. And I really appreciate making the time for speaking with us.
Thank you, Andriana. I'm glad it lined up.
Yeah, thank you. So tell us, how did you get into alpine skiing? How did that journey begin for you?
It all started with my parents. They both raced and coached for most of their lives, and I guess it started with their grandparents who taught themselves how to ski, both from both sides. And then I was basically born into it. My brother raced, and it's just all I really knew. It's what I wanted to do from 2 years old.
2 years old?
Yeah.
Do you have memories from then? Do you remember? No, just
Really?
pictures, right?
Yeah, pictures and
Uh-huh.
stories.
Yeah.
I grew up like I'm in the back, my parents going up the chair when I was loud, and
Uh-huh.
so I got the feeling early.
Wow. And did this happen at Mount Bachelor? Was Mount Bachelor your first?
Yep. Yep. Grew up skiing on my Bachelor from day
Okay.
one.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, that's great. And so when did you discover that, not only did you love skiing, but that it could also become like the focus of your work life as well? How did that evolve?
Um, yeah, that's an interesting question. I guess I was just doing what I loved for a long time and played soccer and all that. And um, at some point, my parents took me to go to Colorado and watch a World Cup in Beaver Creek, and I was able to be a part of the Talon crew, which is the course crew that maintains the course during the race. And I was able to get out on the hill and slip and inspect and actually see the terrain and the racers preparing themselves and see their speed and like power during the race and the whole thing go down. And these are people I grew up watching on TV, and so it's really exciting for me to see. And
I can imagine. Yeah.
when I was in person, I was like, oh, this is real. Like, this is doable. Like, this is a thing that people do. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head towards that.
Oh, really? And how old were you in that moment?
I was probably 12,
Uh-huh.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
What was it about that moment that really pulled you in?
I mean, one thing that sticks out is watching Aase Chus, or it might have been Amat, these two Norwegians who were dominant back in the day. And I just remember him standing in the sun at the start, and it was nice and sunny, but a cold day. He didn't have his suit top on. He's just in his long underwear, just sitting there enjoying the sun with his eyes closed, and like had this little bit of a gut. I call
Uh-huh.
it power gut.
Yeah.
And it was just like cool to see that peacefulness before this intense race run. And I think that kind of just stuck with me from there.
Uh-huh. Wow. So at age 12, you already had this idea, I want to take this seriously.
Yeah, I just knew it was a possibility, and
Yeah.
it never became too serious until later on. Like, obviously, it was my focus. At some point, I went from soccer to focusing purely on skiing in high school, but it was like we had such a great group. It was all fun. And shout out to Pat Robeson, who just passed, and he was our coach back then, one of our coaches, and he was all about making sure we had fun and
Yeah.
ski to have fun. And that was a big part of our upbringing. And as a group, we just love going fast too. And that was part of like playing around and skiing powder. We also love being in the gates and like pushing each other.
Hmm.
And from there on, it was like that mentality went all the way up into the World Cup when I started qualifying for races. And then it started to get a lot more attention and just exposure to these faster, bigger races like the Olympics and whatnot. And it's like we started to become a little more serious in that scenario. And when it became more serious, I had a little harder time uh, performing.
Tell me about that.
Um, yeah, it just becomes like kind of taken into your head a little more. I did. I got taken into my head a little more. It was just like I was 21 or something when I went to the Vancouver Olympics in 2010.
Wow.
And it was just a lot. I was pretty young compared to a lot of the other racers. And yeah, a lot of friends came up from Oregon to watch, and that was very special. Family was there, and I hadn't had anyone really come to races before because I've been racing all along. But now
Sure.
there's just so much focus
Yeah.
on me and the whole world, and just the ski racing. It was pretty special, but I was so nervous throughout that whole thing, and
I can imagine.
cameras everywhere, and so that took me a while to get used to. It took me years and injuries to get through, but eventually figured out ways of learning how to play in such scenarios.
Yeah. How did that mindset evolve with time and experience?
Probably through brutal, brutal injuries, and yeah, I think injury was a big part of it. I've had a fair amount of injuries over my career, and while it's not what completely defines me, I've learned a lot of things from injury and learning
Yeah.
how to accept some really tough scenarios, um, and learning how to shed my identity as a ski racer and just discover other parts of myself and what's out there in the world. And there's more
Mhm.
to it than just racing and performing.
For sure. Yeah.
And that took I broke up my femur in 2013, and that took me like 2 years to realize I wanted to ski racing and then get the strength back and recover to actually get back into it.
Yeah.
Um, and in the meantime, I went to school at Dartmouth and studied art, and that was my outlet at the time because all I knew before that was
Skiing.
skiing and movement, and I couldn't really move
Wow.
the way I was used to.
How did that accident happen? Because saw a little clip of you talking about it, and it wasn't performing necessarily or competing.
No, it was out free skiing
Uh huh.
between races with a buddy of mine. We were in France and just, yeah, got a little over our heads and went a little into over a blind roll, basically a cliff, and crunched my leg and
Ay, ay,
laid
ay.
my back into rocks and
Oh
trees.
my gosh.
I was lucky to not fall any further because there's a good drop beyond that. It's a good 2 hour rescue time to get out of there to a helicopter and get to the hospital.
Wow. Was that your first serious accident?
Yeah. Yes. That was definitely the most serious. Yeah.
What's going through your mind in that moment when you're a top Olympic skier? You were quite young then.
Yeah.
I mean, you still are young,
Yeah.
but
The best. Yeah, I think I was 23 at the time.
uh-huh.
And yeah, it's kind of like I lost it all. Like, this is like, I'm gonna be lucky to walk again. I might lose my leg. All this is all happening within like,
Seconds.
yeah, seconds, and shedding that whole, just like, and then I was also in this really hairy situation and I had to get out of it. And my buddy is a really good skier, Max Hammer. He skied down to me and it was basically like a mountain goat to get down to me.
Oh my
Break a
God.
ski.
Hmm.
But right to where I was, he couldn't reach me. It was too steep and too sketchy for him to get actually to me. So I had to hoist myself out to get to him. So that's I was forced to accept the situation very quickly,
Oh my gosh.
and had to hoist myself to him.
With excruciating pain, I
Yeah,
imagine.
my leg was just dangling under me. Like, it's not. Yeah.
Oh my. Wow.
So yeah, it's learning. That's the not. There's other ways of learning how to accept tough situations.
You were forced to. And how did the recovery happen after that accident? That must have really shaped your career afterwards, I imagine.
Yeah, it really did. I was not sure if I wanted to ski race again after that for a while. I was really shocked and just
Scared?
scared and pretty out of it. And it's like eventually, like the initial healing took place. My buddy Renee Bates and physical therapist really guided me through that whole process, and well, at least part of the process in the beginning. And then once I was more capable of walking, I went to school and did more healing there, and then tried to. I skied like 2 days, and this is like I had the rod in my femur. And it's like I could tell it's like not going to work to race at a high level. 'Cause, you know,
Sure.
ice, it's like cement, and your bones are supposed to flex.
Yeah.
And with a rod in it, your bones don't flex. So that's a like 30 centimeter rod or something. So I decided to get and from stories from other racers who had traumatic injuries in their lower legs with rods, they had a really hard time getting back into racing. So through those stories and my experience, we decided to take the rod out for
Uh-huh.
11 months.
Okay.
And that was another 4-month recovery. So I finished school that year and at some point I discovered like, yeah, I do want to ski race. Like this is still I love doing that, and
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do, and just really made a long term, like vague long term goals of just like kind of benchmarks, but it's mostly, excuse me, mostly about getting back to it, like at my own pace and while listening to my body, and yeah, doing what felt right, staying true to myself.
Yeah.
So that took, I don't know, I got back into it, started slowly racing again, and after, so it was 2013, 2015, I started. We're on the World Cup, and then 2019, by that point, I had built up and had uh, built a team around me, and had a team built around me, and I built around them. It was a great dynamic, and lucky to work with my great serviceman, Daniel Andasilic. He's Croatian, man.
Okay.
So we're still very close, and we eventually won a race in Beaver Creek.
Yeah.
Full circle.
That was the year that you got first place in the World Cup in 2019.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Just, I mean, like 5 years after the accident, practically.
Yeah. And in some ways it's slow, some ways it's fast. I was lucky to be able to get there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
What did that accident and the recovery, leave you with? What were your biggest takeaways as an athlete? And as a person, of course, just.
Um, well, I mean, acceptance is huge. It's just learning to accept things. And I still struggle with it. I'm still, that's like why I'm talking about it so much now is partly because I'm relearning to accept things again. Like
Yeah.
more struggles, and it's just an important part of uh, getting through life and enjoying life. And I also learned that the body is amazing and he can heal really well. If you let it, some intervention helps too. And I remember in the French hospital, my leg was super swollen. I could barely stand. I would get such big head rushes. I lost a lot of blood in the surgery. And I went down and saw this woman who's a physical therapist, and she puts her hands on my leg, and she's like, she's got a very heavy French accent. She's like, I'm a little bit like a witch. She puts her hands on my legs and just does these really subtle
Movements.
and it's not really massage in like the traditional sense. And my swelling just dropped like drastically, like doubled or halved. And
Oh, wow.
that was pretty powerful for me to experience that. And I learned to give other modalities more of a chance, and really gone down the path of acupuncture and physical therapy and other massage treatments and energy treatments.
Yeah. I'm sure also many individuals must have intervened in your process of recovery. And I can imagine there's like a lot of gratitude towards a lot of these people.
There's so many people and so many practitioners, and that have been very helpful along the way. Like I was working at Rebound for a long time, doing rehab there, and then working at Capacity, doing rehab there. Ellie Merowitz, Renee Bates have been staples of my recoveries over the years. And then I've seen Kelly Cooks over at Desert Lotus and Cassandra. Yeah. This keeps going.
Yeah.
Had support from Bachelor for years, and those sponsors are a big help to keep me going, because there's times where you're really low on income and
Sure.
you're recovering, and it takes time, and you feel that pressure to get back, maintain a living too. And it's an odd
Scenario.
balance, and not to mention my parents, who've been a big supporter from day one, and not adding extra pressure, just only support. It's been super fortunate.
Yeah. During those moments of recovery, what is more challenging, like the physical rehabilitation or kind of the mental battle that you're not where you want to be and that you have to give time to time in order to heal and be back at your game? What's harder?
Oh, I mean, the pain is pretty tough in the beginning.
Yeah.
And just not being able to move, and you go from like full on physical movement and activity and exercise to nothing. And it's like you have little withdrawals from that movement. And that's hard for sure for a while. And there's painkillers, just getting through all that. But once you get that cleared from the system, it's you still got ways to go mentally. And that part is kind of ongoing, and it just changes you forever. And something to accept those changes. Acceptance keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. So fast forward, 2019, you finish your first World Cup in first place. How did your career begin to evolve from there? I mean,
Uh,
must have been.
I mean, really involved before that. Coming up
Uh-huh.
into it is just
Yeah.
years of work and just lots of testing and trust and building up routines and different rituals.
Yeah.
Uh, so that was kind of the pinnacle of
Right,
all
of course.
that.
No, I didn't want to undermine that process.
Yeah.
And speaking to which, Tommy, like, most of us, when we see you on, at a competition, whether that's a World Cup or the Olympics, we're seeing you for a minute and a half. But, behind that, there's just hours and hours of training. Like, what does a typical year of training look for you in order to make it to these these world-class events?
Oof. We usually have April through July off snow. There's some small camps here and there in the spring. And then we're doing dryland training. We get about a month where we really take it easy, and then dryland starts up, and we're training basically 5 to 6 times a week, usually twice a day, 3 to 4 hours in the gym, like 3 days a week, and then outside doing like running or hiking, some cardio stuff, and maintaining core constantly and building core, and it's constantly trying to like build all these different systems. Like that's not just strength or cardio; it's just find the coordination and the perfect harmony of all of our amazing bodily systems.
Yeah.
And by August, we usually head down south. We, as a tech team, we usually go to New Zealand.
Okay.
About 3 to 4 weeks there. The speed guys typically go to Chile and Argentina.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I would do both. I would go down to Chile after
New Zealand.
Mm-hmm. We're doing that all the way through like September. Halfway through September, we get a couple of weeks off, and then head to Europe, and I'll start training the glaciers. And our first race is October on Solden Glacier, the Rettenbach Glacier in Solden, Austria. And from there on, we're racing all the way to into March.
Wow.
Full year, and then it repeats.
And when you're skiing, full on from October to March, it's skiing every day. How many hours? How does that look like?
It's not every day, but it's like usually like 3 days, 2 to 3 days on, take a day off, 2 to 3 days on. Or you kind of work backwards from a race day and kind of build up into that.
Okay.
Kind of tapering volume and just working on quality by the time it becomes race time. And we usually train from like 7:30 to 10 in the morning, have some rest and lunch and some recovery, like PT work and then the afternoons we do some dryland maintenance work in the winters, lifting or core, or some biking or stationary bike or hiking or something. Yeah.
Got it. And I know you've specialized in giant slalom. Like, what physical characteristics are really needed for this type of racing that most people wouldn't expect?
Giant slalom is it's like 22 to 25 meter radius turns, and that means there's just like about 25 meters between gates. Those skis really bend up. They're pretty stiff, and like you got to be able to bend them, and that's where all the speed comes from. Is bending those skis. It's like a slingshot. The more you flex them, the more they release energy. So you can really be able to stack your body in a way that you put optimal force in, and it's full exertion at every turn, and it's an explosive move. It's not like all at once. It's kind of a build, and it takes about half a second to build. And at the apex, your body's fully tensioned up and you're rigid for just a split second to like hit that punch. Basically, you're punching out of it, and then you release, and you got to be able to release immediately and just let it flow down the hill. It's this mix between like ice and water.
Yeah.
And I think like core strength is a huge thing because it's a lot of rotational forces.
Okay.
Um, and the more you can maintain stability through your hips and shoulders, the more you can stay over your skis. And the more you stay over your skis, the more the skis bend, the more speed you carry.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of balance, coordination, and uh, gauging speed, spatial awareness.
Yeah. How did you decide that was the area of focus that you wanted to do as a skier?
I mean, I raced all disciplines
Okay.
at the World Cup level
Uh-huh.
for a couple years, and then slowly tapered down to more Super G and GS.
Uh-huh.
Fuji is more, it's closer to downhill, like fast, more flowing with the terrain. Still big turns, but you're going like 20 miles an hour faster than GS. Um, and I was good at both of them.
Okay.
Just kind of over the years, the more I became injured, it's kind of hard to maintain the volume to keep my skills as honed in on
Mhm.
more than one event. And I was always, I guess, better at GS.
Okay.
And I mean, I enjoy them all. So
Yeah.
I love doing GS. Those turns are hard to beat.
Uh-huh. What is it about skiing that makes it your sport? Like, is it being outdoors? Is it having this incredible landscape behind you? Is it the adrenaline? Is it just the combination of everything? I mean, I'm a skier, very humble, but I'm just curious what it is for you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like all you said right there.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Okay.
outside, being outside in the mountains. It's special. Just
Yeah.
spending time all day out there. It's so cool. Be able to get up in these high alpine regions and
And you've seen it all.
seen a lot, not all of
A lot,
it.
though. Yeah, more than most of us, for sure.
um, and there's just cool cultures around it all over the world. Everyone's got their different way of approaching it. Some adrenaline's involved for sure. That's a blast. Like
Yeah, it
just
is.
being able to keep keep calm amongst the chaos is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like I've never actually done the foiling,
What's that?
like on water, like the foil board, so they're pumping around on, or like surfing
Ah,
with
okay.
a hydrofoil.
Okay.
That's just super smooth, and like they're on like really rough waters, but
Mhm.
it tracks below the surface, so it goes really smooth. And just imagine, um, it must feel really nice. I've never done that,
Yeah.
and it's like being able to stay calm and clean and carving and smooth in a course. It's kind of like that.
Mhm.
Imagine.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Maybe not feel the same way, but
Yeah.
mentally
Uh-huh.
it can be rough sometimes.
Yeah. So when you're at the gate and the cameras are on you and you're competing, um, what's going through your mind before you actually start your race? How do you keep the calm amidst?
Everything goes through your mind. You can think about what's for lunch. You can think about
Uh-huh.
what could happen, good or bad. Um, like think about results. You can think about all these things. It happens every time.
Really?
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable. And the closer you get to the start, the more it's like a pressure cooker. It's like more of those thoughts get louder and heavier, and just really, yeah, it's really uncomfortable. It's a not a fun part of racing. But I've worked with a mental coach over the years, Mark
Mhm.
Payette, and he's helped me be able to sit with those thoughts and stay anchored and just move through it while they're still there. Like they're gonna come and go, and the trick is letting go of them. It's so easy to be attached to those ideas, like, oh, maybe I'll mess up on that fourth gate, and that can spiral very quickly, and then like that can go into results and like, oh, or if I don't qualify for this race and blah 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 blah, and just catching yourself and like, okay, those are thoughts, and I'm here to stand present, return into something that's here, whether it's the mountain ridges and just following it with my eyes, or um, following my breath and just really anchoring my attention, and not shutting things out too harshly, which is a pretty easy practice to do as well. So it's a tricky balance to maintain. And it takes practice. It's not just oh, I'm gonna show up race day, and here we go.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, all that, uh, all the all that surrounds a race, like the media and the clout of a venue and the fans and all that, just amplifies it. And uh, so you better be prepared.
Yeah. When you look back on your career or on your best races, do you remember something that you did differently that day or thought differently or a different mindset that served you?
Um, I wouldn't say anything too different. I think I
Mhm.
just trusted myself more and
Okay.
trusted the unknown more, and uh, had been more consistent leading up to the race with that process.
Yeah.
Um, and was clear with it. Uh, it wasn't too different than other races.
Okay,
And
got
I've
it.
had moments in the past where, like maybe 2016 or something, I won a run in a
Uh-huh.
World Cup, and it was kind of like a little bit out of the blue.
That was very recently out of your recovery from your injury in 2013. If
Yeah, it was fairly recent.
was one of
That
the
yeah, it's
first
like
big races you
it's
did
like
then.
like second year
Oh
racing
wow.
again.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. And I barely qualified for second run. You need to get top 30 to qualify for 2 runs.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I think it was 30th or something, and
Yeah.
barely got by a couple hundredths of a second.
Uh-huh.
And the next race, I was just like, or the next run was just like an hour or two later. I just, from there on, I just really from finishing first run, I just maintained uh, a determination and a focus on that present moment and just stuck with it no matter what. And I was very determined with that.
Mhm.
Just came through the finish, and it's like, nice, that was good. And like, you have to wait for all these other racers to come down, and no one beat that time. I was like,
Oh
wow,
wow.
okay. But then it was like, took 3 more years to like, what happened there? Like, it just kind of happened that day. But
Yeah.
it took some guidance. That's why I started to meet Bernard and affirmed that, and it's guided me further with it.
Mhm. W Earlier on, you were mentioning how much fun you used to have when back in the day when you began training with NBCF and with, your buddies. You were, I imagine, a teenager at that time before you started competing on the world, level. Were you always able to just keep that element of fun throughout these more competitive years, Tommy?
Yeah, I think it ebbed and flowed. I mean, the skiing part was always fun. Once I got on the course, it was a blast. I struggled more with what surrounded it and the travel and uh, the work it took sometimes and the dry land, and
Yeah.
all of that was less fun at times. But I did learn to enjoy dry land and training, and uh, it's not necessarily fun, and still isn't necessarily fun, but I do
Mhm.
enjoy the movements and the efforts that are required to put in it. There's something to it. Like, it's like doing hill sprints with a wheelbarrow they're brutal, but it's like, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Is that you feel good that afterwards that you can do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and like I said with the 2010 Olympics, it was like, that was not that much fun. Honestly, it
Uh-huh.
was a lot. There's a lot of nerves, and I think I was like sick to my stomach most of the times. Like,
Oh, I can imagine.
yeah, it was tough, but I definitely returned to skiing, and that's been anchored throughout. And a couple years ago was definitely a struggle. I had a hard time throughout the whole season. Um, but at the end of the season, I was kind of like, okay, like something drastic has to change, or I'm gonna stop. Because I've always said, like, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I'm enjoying. And it
Yeah.
was a tough season in terms of that. So yeah, been able to learn to enjoy it more and more. But
Mhm.
since then,
Yeah.
yeah, ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I can imagine, like everything in life. Yeah. And during these years, Tommy, besides, the intense training that you've done, like where does sleep fall, stress management, like proper nutrition, what's that wellness component look like? How much do you rely on other like lifestyle interventions, if you will, besides just the intense physical training that you must do as a top athlete?
Yeah, I mean, sleep's big for me. I've tried to like really get enough sleep on these schedules and stuff, but I have a hard time sticking really to it. Like, it just changes with the training. In a way, it drains your energy.
Yeah.
Naps come up. I take naps usually when I'm training head heavy, and so the sleep schedule gets kind of wacky, and I kind of stressed over it for a while, and it just like that just made it worse. And like, I just sleep when I sleep, and it's sleeping better these days. Kind of weird. Sleepy time tea turns out to be a nice wind down for me.
Yeah.
And then winding down is actually really important for me at night. I learned that after I broke my femur, like that year or the next year even, I was not sleep. I was waking up in the middle of the night and it's like wide awake, like starving. Like it was like a
Yeah.
heat, and like that was so strange. And I learned that was kind of like a adrenaline is kicking in the middle of the night, and
Yeah.
it's like okay. So I learned at some point that's someone's recommended some adrenal like
Supplement or something?
supplements.
Yeah.
Like didn't want to mess with that because it might have been against the USADA rules for drug testing. So second thing that I could do was behavioral changes, and
Okay.
so learn to calm down and wind down at night and not do whatever I was doing before. And
Yeah.
still got to do that, and it helps for sure. It makes a big difference. Definitely takes conscious effort.
Yeah. Yeah. To make a habit.
Yeah,
A habit.
habit, and it's like like it's gonna stop doing this or watching TV or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Go drink some tea and read or something.
Yeah. And what about like nutrition and other aspects
Yeah.
of, health? How does that look in your life?
It's
Do you-
pretty mellow. I don't
Mhm.
I try to eat well and eat high quality foods and try to keep balanced diet.
Yeah.
Like changing up the protein types. I eat everything, but try to change up how often I'm eating red meat, for instance.
Sure,
I
yeah.
try to eat fish a little more often and make sure I'm getting enough carbs in. Rice, potatoes, the staple these days, pasta. I did learn the last couple of years. I mean, I probably heard it for years, but actually like implemented
Yeah.
eating enough, especially during a recovery or like a recovery from an injury.
Okay.
There's so much energy demands on your body when you're recovering. Your body's healing and you're working out while you're healing, so it's almost double the demand. So you gotta really maintain, even though you're not moving nearly as much. I wasn't moving nearly as much as I normally do. Training not nearly as heavy. But I was eating the same amount, and that really helped me day to day with my energy.
Okay.
And that just learning that it takes days to really build up energy stores, and that's made a big change in like being able to show up for training and just kind of like not feel just drained and not wanting to do it. It's like, okay, I can do this. Like it feels, it's like there's little tweaks. It's like, that's kind of a bummer. It took me this long to learn that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing what we're learning. I think that learning as a society, simple tweaks like that.
For sure. Yeah. And there's so much attention now on health, wellness, longevity that it's an interesting place to be. Just so much research is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. We're pretty fortunate this time, this era, to have the doctors we have and the research we have and training knowledge we have. It's more and more efficient.
Yeah. And you seem to be very blessed to also have lived in Bend all these years because there's such a community of practitioners, therapists, doctors. From everything you've told me, you've been in really good hands.
Yeah, it's very fortunate to have this community here. It's pretty cool that it's like a pretty naturally active town. So the water and the trails and mountain right there, and what comes with activity is some aches and pains, and
Yeah.
the community is really grown around the movements of the rivers and the mountains. It's really cool to see that.
Yeah. Do you still get up to Mount Bachelor a lot?
I mean, I haven't been here that much in the winters over the past couple of years.
Sure, of course.
Not nearly as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
Spring times, I usually am around, and I miss skiing here because I know it so well. And
Yeah.
with playful terrain and watching all these snowboard videos these days is fun to see because they really play with it, all the terrain that
Yeah.
we did growing up. So it's, yeah.
What are your favorite runs up on Bachelor?
I mean, we train on Cliffhanger all the time.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Ed's Garden.
I love Ed's Garden.
Ed's is probably one of my favorite ones. Tippy Toe, Coffee, like I love those steep ones.
Yeah.
get nice when they groom them nice.
Yeah.
It's great for carving.
Kangaroo, do you like?
Yeah.
Leeway?
Yeah, Leeway is a classic.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I think it's the one I went down the most this season.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
season
Especially,
sounds like there's
I know, but
no
Leeway
snow.
is the best when you take it from the back, beginning and out back, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know that there's a place
we've
where the
always done.
mountain dips and then it goes up again?
Yeah.
And there's just the view of the Three Sisters and Broken Top from there is just, it just pays the day for me. Like, yeah, I love Leeway from the back.
I know that route very well.
I'm sure you do.
We trained
I'm sure you
all
do.
as guards. We had to ride Outback to get to a pop, and from the top of Outback, we had like all these runs through the trees and jump trails and like little bank turns.
Yeah.
At an elephant graveyard because all the like frosty trees in there. And
Yeah.
found these jumps. One's called Triple Nipple,
Uh-huh.
and then you pop out right there.
Wow.
That transition from the over towards Leeway.
Mm-hmm. I think I know where you're talking about. Yeah.
Snake.
I can tell a lot of memories are coming to your mind.
Yeah.
The way your eyes are lighting up, like
Yeah.
years of training back there with buddies. Yeah.
Years and years and lots of runs.
Yeah. I wonder how many ski days you have in your 37, right?
Yep. 37. I have no idea.
Most,
I've never counted in a year, actually.
yeah. A lot more than most of us, for sure. What does this next season look like for you, Tommy?
A lot up in the air. I had a big injury in January 2025. Tried to return back to racing, but my knee was too unstable. So I had another surgery in March 2026. And I'm currently recovering from that. And I'll be lucky to be able to ski. So let alone race. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not putting anything on hold really right now. I'm trying to put my feelers out, see what I can do, and recover well, and be open to what comes next.
One thing you mentioned to me is that you might be going back to school and finishing up, right? Art? Is that true?
That's a possibility. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't quite finished school. I got 4 terms left, like 1 full year.
Yeah.
That's one option to go back and kind of get my mind going in the direction of something else. I basically finished my major with art, so I need to finish a couple distributive classes and like electives. And yeah, like I said, keep it open.
Yeah.
You got some different interests. I gotta explore them in a little more depth.
Mm-hmm. What has art provided you with in these years of, training, recovery, back to training, back to recovery? Like it must be a great outlet for a lot.
Yeah, I mean, after I broke my femur, it was a really good outlet into because it was the closest to skiing I could do that wasn't skiing.
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I would really tune into the material I was working with. I was a sculptor and I did a lot of metal work, and just you kind of listen to and look at the material like you would skiing and inspecting a course and looking at the snow. And then you kind of just do what
Comes.
Yeah, whatever would be called to do. And that just felt the most like expressive the thing I could do. And skiing was my expression before that. So I learned to carry that forward into practice outside of skiing to maintain that mental practice of just expression, but also staying anchored and present when I'm not forced to through adrenaline. And that's like, that's helped me perform over the years. Like I said, with those pressure situations with the media and the race and all of that and the starting gate, that's one way of practicing is in your hotel room. You can draw.
Yeah. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you continue to draw?
Yeah, I do little sketches here and there, and I'd love to get my hands on some sculpting again, at some point, but it's someday. Sure.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work with oil pastels. I like the vivid colors, and how quickly you could use them and how smooth they were. Yeah, that's kind of my go-to for a while.
Yeah. And are you still doing it a lot now and that you're kind of recovering from your last injury?
It's been less and less, not less and less, but I've been slowly doing more and more, I should say.
Okay.
It's hard to get into it sometimes. It really forces you to look at yourself and the page, and that's not always comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. Yeah, I've been doing it more and more, but it's been a slow process.
Okay. And when you're in this process of recovery, Tommy, how are you maintaining your activity level in a way that is compatible with recovery, if that makes sense? Because
Yeah,
it must be hard for you not to do some sort of movement,
yeah,
being such an
it's
active.
just very hard, and uh, I gotta balance. I gotta watch my swelling, and that's kind of what the monitor I use, the metric. So I see how swollen I get in my knee, and
Uh-huh.
um, how sore I am the next day. And if it's not too bad, then I can keep moving, doing the physical therapy and doing the little extracurricular, which is more walking. At
Hmm.
this point, I was swimming a little more, which is great. Water in general has been huge
I can imagine.
healing.
Yeah.
Um, and I can start biking soon, I think. I just need to get the strength up for that, but I've been biking indoors,
Uh-huh.
which is a little less fun, but something.
On a static bike, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stationary, and
Hmm.
uh, doing some other lifting and strengthening work in the gym just to kind of get the general strength up,
Yeah.
because that does signal to your weak leg that it's okay to build muscle, and it keeps this actually stronger and more muscle mass if you keep the rest of your body strong and keep feeding it the signal of high output
Yeah.
force.
It's interesting how so many times we learn more from these setbacks than from victories.
Yeah, it is. It's you learn a lot about yourself and like how you'll come out of it. There's yeah, victories are they're very fleeting, and they can be a lot to learn from them too. And they're not all good either. They really take you to cloud nine and put other things on hold.
Yeah,
Learn from both.
for sure. What do you think this last year and a half from your second big accident has taught you at this point of your life?
Um, it's kind of been a return to where I learned back with my femur. It's
Hmm.
to really take it slow and trust my body and not really force anything with this, and take the time I need. I was chasing timelines a little more the last couple injuries, and it just didn't heal nearly as well, and just didn't enjoy it. It was a lot more pain and kind of caused some complications. And so just remembering to take the time it takes,
Yeah.
and letting myself take days off a little more, and learning to just be a little easier and not as rigid with my routines, more flexibility,
Hmm.
watching a little more World Cup than I would normally.
Uh-huh. You were a soccer in the back in the day before you went so concentrated on skiing. You mentioned you
Yeah,
loved soccer.
and we played soccer in middle school with
Uh-huh.
the extreme. Uh, it was pretty full on team. We would travel all over the Northwest, and we were pretty good for a little while, and that definitely shaped how I moved forward as an athlete. And I just
Really?
loved
In
playing
which way?
skiing.
Uh-huh.
Well, we continue to play pick up
Hmm.
pick up soccer as a team.
Okay. You continue today with the same team members pretty
Yeah.
much?
Well, no, not the soccer team, more the ski team.
Mm.
Everyone kind of played some soccer over the years.
Oh,
We all
cool.
pick up soccer right
Uh-huh.
if we are usually in like a tennis court that has the net taken down because it's winter time usually.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are really fun games. I mean, just learning how to run hard and like
Hmm.
play and like just know that like you shoot a ball and the shoot goes up in the area is blocked, like the chaos of a soccer game. Like you
Yeah.
learn that anything can happen. They try
Sure.
to keep trying to put the ball in the net,
Hmm.
or if you get the ball taken from you, get it back. Like just be determined to do that and like put effort into it, not just be like, oh, like bummed, like I lost the ball. Like those little things is
Yeah.
like our coach really instilled that as
Uh-huh.
follow the ball. Like those little things, it's like this like very easily metaphorical for life and for skiing. And
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, when life gets you down, get up and keep moving
for sure.
for the team.
And I suppose, soccer being a team sport as opposed to the skiing that you did, which although you were part of a team, it was very individual, right?
Skiing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you were really competing against yourself and others, but
Yeah.
how does that, what is the team dynamic of soccer? How does that sit with you? Is it something you like better than the individual sport?
I enjoyed the team environment, but I definitely like thrive in the individual sport.
For sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, I maintained accountability with myself. I had to maintain accountability to myself mostly.
Hmm.
Um, and like it wasn't the fault of anyone else really.
Yes.
I messed up, and I was easier to point fingers in soccer, and that usually didn't help anything. But it like yeah, it's just easier to do that. So that was just a different mentality there.
Yeah.
I would love to have continued to play soccer for longer
Hmm.
in like a true team environment. And we did play quite a bit over the years.
Cool.
It's not
Yeah.
not organized.
Uh-huh. What's the difference? We were talking before, like, in soccer, you've got 90 minutes, several games in a season. There's a lot of time to kind of improve the team game, as the soccer match continues. Whereas in the kind of competition you've always done, it's months and months, hours and hours of training for like a minute and a half of competition. Like, how does that sit with you?
I mean, this is sort of how it is. It's been
Yeah.
it's been, but it's like it'd be nice to be able to have 90 minutes to perfect a run, but
Right.
it's just full on sprint essentially, and you can do a lot. It doesn't feel that short when you're
It doesn't?
because
Uh-huh.
things slow down. And your legs get very tired by the end, and you're just scraping by to get through the finish a lot of times.
Really? Even Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're trying to exert yourself through every turn through the through the bottom. So like we were strong enough to do it through the finish, but you're
Tired.
gassed.
No, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
so
I
it's
mean,
like
at that velocity, like,
yeah, it's it's cool to trust yourself and be like, yeah, I am strong enough to do that. But you got to remember that too.
uh-huh.
It's like, am I really? Because this is you can barely like sometimes see straight. You're so tired and like your legs are just burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the pretty cool part about it.
Cool. Yeah.
Not everyone loves that, but for some reason that's. I remember my first World Cup race I qualified for second run for
Hmm.
was in Alta Badia, Italy. And I come down on the first run to the last corner, and you still have 30 to 40 seconds to go.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, it's already like a minute, like a 45 seconds in." I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're supposed to ski? I'm supposed to keep skiing right now? I can barely see where I'm going," and just kept lacing arcs, and somehow I stood up and got through and
Wow. And continued.
continued and got the next run. And that kind of set the tone. It's like, okay, like this isn't easy. It's not going to be handed to me. Like most racing before that, it was a shorter course because I was younger and the hills were easier. So
Yeah.
it's like not a non-issue really. It's
Right.
like the World Cup was bulletproof ice, longer courses, harder conditions, and then the pressure of all the stuff around the race is it's just a lot on the body.
Yeah.
So that was cool to realize that and hope the young racers out there listening, it's like yeah, just get strong because you can. It's not always a feel good moment in a course, but it is still fun to do.
Hmm. You've had a really long career thinking about this. You started at 2 and you've been on the global scene since 2009. That's a long time for 3 Olympics, but over 20 years or no, like 16. Yeah.
It's
Right.
on the World Cup.
Like, what has kept you going all this time? Tell me.
I mean, at some point, it just got to be that long. I didn't think twice
Uh-huh.
about it. it's just the pure joy of skiing. Like as simple as it gets. Nothing really beats it. I mean, surfing's pretty cool. I'm just not nearly as good at it, right? But I'm very good at making turns, and it feels amazing just to be able to. It's kind of like flying, and I would imagine, and it feels good to use your body to its full extent.
Yeah. Once you're fully recovered, do you want to go back to skiing? I mean, not necessarily professionally. I don't know
Of
what,
course, yeah,
but would you like at least recreationally?
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've climbed a couple volcanoes around here, and just
Uh-huh.
doing some backcountry stuff, and just going out for a rip too.
Yeah.
It's always a blast. I know some racers like John Claude Keely, a French racer back in the day. He won a bunch of races, and then he retired, and it's like I don't think he's really skied since.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like I was so good at it. Why would I ski again? It's like, yeah, that's not my mentality.
No. You were telling me before that your grandfather skied until he was 90, you said?
Yeah, over
Yeah.
Hill Club.
Over the, was
I
it?
think so.
Uh-huh.
The patch is
Yeah.
80 plus. Yeah, he was up there in about the same position we're in these chairs. Like, it's just must have had legs of steel. Yeah, he got up there every year he could.
Here at Bachelor?
Yeah, Bachelor.
Oh, wow. That's really the family.
Yeah, it's where a lot of it's happened. My mom grew up in Vermont,
Okay.
and she would wanted to make sure I said that.
Okay.
She's a Vermonter through and through.
Yeah.
I moved out here with my dad and our family after I was born. I was born out east.
Mm-hmm.
Moved when I was 6 months.
Okay.
They were living in Vermont, and my dad was coaching at Dartmouth for the skiing.
Oh, he was a coach as well.
Mm-hmm. They met coaching. He was coach for UVM. She also coached soccer the first year of Title IX. It was put into action, and she had never coached soccer, but they won the region.
Oh, wow.
State or something.
Yeah.
Yes, and so skiing in Vermont, it's got a lot more. There's a lot of culture around skiing and a lot of history. It's been around for a long time. There's a lot of smaller ski areas all over, and one of them is the Cochrane ski area. This family that the grandfather, the great grandfather at this point, started with his wife, and it's just a rope tow that he had on a tractor.
Oh, how nice.
Then my grandfather became friends with him, and then I got my mom and my uncle involved at the ski area there, and they grew up racing and skiing with the Cochrane family there.
Oh, wow.
And there were like 3 or 4 siblings of the Cochranes of my parents' generation, and a couple of those racers won gold and bronze and silver or something like in the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
And
they're kids you've grown up with then too.
then so I've grown up with their kids,
Yeah.
and their kids have gotten silver in the Olympics, like Ryan Cochrane Siegel. This was silver in Italy.
Oh, wow.
Super G, and yeah, that's part of my
heritage.
Is
Yeah.
mom. That's where she fostered. She was fostered the love of skiing.
That's beautiful. Do your parents still ski, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah. Your brother as well?
Yeah, once in a while. It was Brooklyn.
Okay.
He gets out.
Okay.
Comes to races and skis, and he comes out here and skis. Goes up to Vermont and skis. Goes to Europe once in a while.
Yeah. Looking back on all these years, Tommy, what is one of your favorite skiing memories that you just kind of continue to treasure, or maybe continues to be a reason for you to love the sport as you do?
Well, I was just remembering Pat Robeson, who passed just a couple days ago, and he was our coach growing up, one of our coaches. And after 7, I think most of the kids that we grew up with in the MBSCF program had graduated high school, and we were starting to go to colleges and doing different things. But we all came back that next winter, or a lot of us. I don't remember who all was there. There's at least 4 of us skiing, and we ran to Pat, and we all went out for a couple runs on the backside, and we were just hooting and hollering in the trees. And deep powder and sunshine, and it was just like the peak of that period of our lives
Yeah.
for all of us in a lot of ways. And then we all kind of went our own separate ways, and uh, those are still treasured memories, and still close to a lot of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So rest in peace, Pat.
Mm. I didn't realize that it was just a couple of days ago he had passed away.
So sorry about that.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did he ski for most of his life?
Yeah, I think you grew up in Michigan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Skiing at Buck Hill, I believe.
Yeah.
Moved out here and coached for years and years, and became a regional coach, and did coach like a coach for some of the development systems nationally.
Okay. So he was a major player.
Yeah, major player, and touched a lot of people, and was he's the jolly giant. He's a big man and just had a great laugh and made sure everyone was having fun, and knew how to explain things in a way that kids could understand, that we could all understand. That's
So important.
yeah, huge. And made sure we weren't just ski racers. Learned how to taught us about music and culture. It's fun. There's been a lot of time with these coaches in the vans traveling from here to like Idaho or Montana.
Yeah, there's a lot of off time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Was he probably the most influential coach you had, Tommy?
Oh man, there's so many coaches.
I can imagine. Yeah, in your career so long.
Everyone's had a big impact in different ways. Ken Tollerton was the main FIS coach at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Nils Erickson, who's a coach still here and running the program there. Forrest Carey has been a big influence of mine and coach for that time I was winning the World Cup, and Ian Garner. Those two coaches were around. That's cool. Ian was just in town. Eric Homer was a couple years older than me, and he raced. Then that kind of set some example of what it is like to be a fast racer coming from Oregon, because there's not many from the West Coast. There weren't many racers at the time that were racing at a high level, competing on the World Cup.
Okay.
And he was from Bend, him and Kevin Francis, and they set the tone. And his family, Eric Homer's family, started the Race Place and Patio World over near the old mill. And his dad passed last year, and he'd been a big influence in the racing industry for decades. And the Race Place is a really well-known publication that is a supplier to the nation.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Tuning tool. It's pretty special place here in Bend, and we got a lot of culture behind ski racing, and I think we got to keep it alive and keep watching it, and keep supporting ski racing.
Mm-hmm.
It has a big impact on a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of wanting to coach yourself later on?
I will definitely be involved in some fashion.
Okay.
I don't know what that's going to look like quite yet, but yeah, I spent too much time in this sport to share some of the knowledge, and I love the technical side too. So it's fun to talk about it.
That's cool. Does it happen a lot that in town, little like younger skiers will see you and go up to you and ask you questions, want your picture?
No, I don't say a lot.
But from time to time.
Like at the athletic club at Bend the other day, I was in the pool.
Yeah.
It's just this last summer now. Some kid, I could tell some kids were scoping me out there on the side, and like just looking over there. And then one kid got the courage up, and he just comes over to me, he's like, "Are you Tommy Ford?" I'm like, yes. And yeah, they asked a couple questions, and yeah, it happens last night. Yeah, the kid asked me, like, "So how tight do you buckle your boots?" I was like, not too tight. It's like my feet actually don't hurt. A lot of people think racers' feet
have to hurt. Yeah,
mine they fit well. And Scott Homer made sure my boots fit well, and that was, I think, a big part of my life. I have actually good feet. Ski racers have pretty mangled feet.
Okay,
you gotta have strong feet to have healthy knees and healthy.
Yeah, legs. It all starts there, the base.
It does.
Yeah,
if they're just cut off and not moving in a boot, it's gonna be hard to be articulate on the microterrain.
That makes sense. Yeah. Um, well, Tommy, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I really loved talking to you and learning about your story. And I can tell there's a lot still to write. Your story has just begun, I think, in many ways.
Yeah, there's a lot to discover still. I'm trying to be open to that.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable time right now. It's just because it's transition.
Uncertainty sometimes is, but
Yeah,
it's like,
it can be exciting too.
exactly. It's where the possibility exists.
Yeah, and just knowing I've had this drive and purpose for skiing, and then it's kind of like I'm not really pointing towards that anymore. So learning to use those same skills and mindset towards this unknown is it's just not as innate as because that's just skiing's been there,
Yeah.
so this is gonna be new. I'm learning.
Yeah. But the beauty is the skills are in you. It's just a matter of applying it in a different way, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
and thinking about those skills, like what do you think are the most special skills that your skiing career has given you as a person?
I mean, staying driven towards a purpose, and how important a purpose is,
Yeah.
and not knowing what that is okay. Uh, like skiing has a kind like it's been a pretty easy purpose, like an obvious purpose, I should say, but it's not. It hasn't been my only purpose, and it's not. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Mhm.
That's like just keeping that in mind is that it's okay to not know.
Yeah.
Being comfortable with the not knowing is something I've really learned and still need to cultivate.
Yeah. What you're saying now reminds me of what you said a little bit ago in the interview when I asked you, like, what could have made a difference in a successful race you had. And you said you just trusted yourself more. So maybe it's, that invitation is just to trust yourself in this moment too. Well, I'm sure a lot of wonderful things are coming your way for sure.
Come out of the chrysalis, I guess. In a
Uh-huh.
way, it's got
Yeah.
to form the chrysalis first, I think.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tommy. I really appreciate your time for being here.
The pleasure.